You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. But let's move away from the AMD Ryzen. So we have been chit-chatting about the 6, 7 and 8 models, but I also picked up some time ago this i9 10th generation with an built-in RTX 2060. They're based on, of course, the laptop or mobile chips. So the particular GPUs, what I understand, cannot be 100% compared with the full-size GPU, but still it had a lot of power, and due of the the built-in RTX 2060, we can play some really cool emulation with this too. And yeah, the case itself, it's kind of boring, so that's not a problem, but yeah, it's just kind of boring. But I also did a full video and also teardown of this device, and this was kind of cool if you want to have Intel and the Nvidia combination. There are a lot of mini PCs out there, but sometimes you can find still these older models, and if they're getting cheaper, this is maybe another cool option to check out. So with God of War, I've noticed that it did struggle a little bit when putting this on the highest setting, 10 times resolution, everything maxed out. But getting into the game further, didn't really notice any problem whatsoever. Also, God of War is very demanding, so even if this is a problem with different games, you can just have overall great performance.
On my mark! Fire! I must...
So where PlayStation Portable did struggle a little bit when it comes to the Dream Emulator and Dreamcast, we can play this on the 4K resolution without any problem whatsoever. But getting into the Xbox 360, here I've noticed a lot of issues, and the games I tried were not really playable, to the point that the emulator even crashed. Now when making this video, they also have the i9 new generation. I think you have like the 12th generation, you have RTX 3050, 4060 it is. Nevertheless, there are so many different configurations, but this is actually the RTX 3050 with an i9 12th generation. So this is even more powerful than the other one. Yeah, and where we had a lot of great performance, 4K rendering resolution on emulators. Yeah, I think, is it really necessary to pick up such a massive machine? Maybe. If you want to maybe combine this with, let's say, Windows gaming, that would be a very cool combination. But of course, we're focusing on Batocera emulation itself. The case, I was quite disappointed at the way how this looks. It feels really basic and really cheap actually. The device itself comes with the Intel Core i9 1200 900H and Alder Lake having a max TDP of 45 watts. The manufacturer is JHZD. Nevertheless, we're having a bus specification of PCI Express 4.0. That brings us to the memory. DDR4 in total 16 GB has been implemented. DDR4 3200 running on 1600 MHz and having two of the same kind of memory sticks. Let's take a close look at the graphic card. This is the Nvidia GeForce RTX 3050 Ti and laptop GPU. So this thing has a TDP of 60 watts, 4 GB of memory, GDDR6 And that's actually what we're getting when it comes to the specifications. Nevertheless, we're having absolutely amazing overall performance with PlayStation 2, and you can even upscale it to higher resolutions if you want to without any problem. Where we have amazing overall performance with Xbox Classic, you can see that it struggles with Xbox 360, also depending what kind of emulator version you're using and what kind of game, in other words compatibility, and of course CPU GPU combination, but it will push this thing to the limit. GameCube set to 4K resolution, and with a device also like this we can just push this to the limit. Take consideration, I've been tweaking with it with some time, even putting some extra filter over it, but then I did get some, let's say, overall problems. But I just find that with the 4K resolution in this particular settings we have absolutely great performance.
You got boost power!
But this was like a collection of all kinds of different ways you can play. With the low end, at the moment, we still have a little bit of limitation, so we do have not 4K rendering resolution every single system. But you can see with B-Link, with an AMD Ryzen, but also if you're having an older Intel, let's say cool GPU implemented, you have some really cool overall 4K rendering resolution with many systems and many games, and they look absolutely stunning. And I think it's a really fun way to play, and if you just want to experience the old school games only in 4K rendering resolution glory, this is the ways to go to. And again, in the future when seeing this video, this is going to be so much more cheaper. I do want to point out, if you don't care about a mini PC, you can just grab yourself an old PC. So this is a 4th generation i7 with an 1660 super card in it, but there are many different versions out there with newer i7s with more powerful RTX card are really cheap. You can build it yourself from scratch with different parts you buy on the internet, or you can just actually get yourself like a ready to go PC and slap in your Batocera drive and you are just ready to go. It is massive, so it's not going to be super convenient, but yeah, this is one of those very cool and cheap ways to play where we have power, but because of the size, yeah, this is going to be different. But CPU wise, you can see that it is not comparable with the AMD Ryzen 5 or 5600X. So you need to do a little bit of a research to checking out which CPU you're actually going to be needing for the emulation power and the GPU for the upscaling. Actually, I'm just going to leave it as it is at the moment, but later on maybe we're going to put it on a test bench. In combination with the OCZ 700 watt power supply, we can use this thing with a couple of GPU combinations, but we need to have let's say, a more powerful one in the future. Next up, we have the Corsair water cooling system. This thing is absolutely amazing and keeps the CPU cool, and dual channel memory. This is like these low profile ones, nothing fancy over there. The Maximus 7 Ranger is absolutely a beautiful looking board, and I'm very glad to have this one in my collection in combination with the GTX, the 1660 Super from Palette. Unfortunate, the brackets are not here. I asked the seller, but he didn't own any of them anymore, so that's a little bit of an annoying thing, but it happens when you're having used parts. For Windows gaming, I'm quite surprised by the overall result which you're getting with such a cheap device. But yeah, the question remains, of course, what can we do when it comes to emulation? How far can we push it? Because that would be absolutely great if you can have like an amazing overall performance on emulation and have the gameplay what we're having already now. So we're starting off with some PlayStation 2 emulation, 4K upscaled resolution, and you can just actually see with an old PC and a nice graphic card, we can all do it without any problem. Even the CPU doesn't even have any problems going on further with the game, but let's do a quick gameplay.
Round 2. Fight.
But when it comes to PlayStation Portable, here we have the absolutely amazing overall performance. Every setting has been set to the maximum, even including the upscaling, and all the games of the PlayStation Portable run pretty smooth. And also they look absolutely amazing. With some overall great performance, I can just really enjoy myself PlayStation Portable on a bigger television this way. But take consideration, if you experience some dips, you can always mess around with the settings by pressing into the certain button you have mapped to. Can go to the settings over here and we can mess around with the settings. We can implement frame skip if you don't want to do anything else, but you can also check out the rendering and resolution and all the other things if needed.
Fight!
Level 2 security door breach. Level 2 security door breach.
So when we do have amazing PlayStation 3 emulation, the Xbox 360 is just way too much for this machine and cannot really handle it with a stable 50 or 60 FPS. So this is absolutely a no-go. We do have overall better performance than most of the mini PC I've been testing now. But again, it's old hardware, but still, the overall performance is not really enjoyable and playable.